You touched upon Snowden. So I'd just like to know, with all these protections of free speech that we have, where do you come down on this? Or is the release of documents not the same as speech?
Well, I think that as a pure legal matter, Mr. Snowden probably has violated the Espionage Act and probably would be convicted, and probably the conviction would be upheld. I have very mixed feelings about him, as reflected in the book, very ambivalent feelings, like many people, including the Attorney General of the United States, who filed the criminal complaint against him. I distinguish for myself between what I think was the public service of his revealing domestic surveillance by the NSA, all duly enacted by Congress and signed by presidents, but nonetheless unknown to the public, which he did reveal, I think, with great profit to the country. I distinguish that from his revelations about American intelligence gathering abroad, which I view as a different type of revelation with much more potential to do harm and much less potential to serve the public. But those are personal views. I think that in his role as a former contractor, but which is like being a government employee, he'd have a hard time winning a case brought against him. Assange is a different story, and WikiLeaks is a different story in a few ways. One, he's not American, and therefore some different standards and legal principles might come into play. I mean, it's one thing to say you can't be a spy, well, whatever your nationality is. It's something else to say that you owe some duty of loyalty to a country to which you're not a citizen. Beyond that, Assange has played a journalistic role in part when he has gathered information and made it available to the public. So phrased, that sounds like what journalists do. That's the case that everyone thinks that the Trump administration may well bring, and may well bring soon, against Assange. And then people like me, who in my book are only critical of WikiLeaks and Assange, will be in the position of saying that we're sorry the government brought the case, and we hope Assange wins the case, because if he doesn't, they could bring the same case against journalists who I might think better of, and we all might at least have fewer qualms about the nature of their behavior. But that is the case which could very well come up and would be very dangerous.